rush. They say, failure breaks people. But sometimes it doesn't break you. It builds you in ways success never could. This is the story of a young artist who lost everything, only to find something far greater. In a small town surrounded by hills and mist, lived a 21-year-old boy named Aarav. He was quiet, soft-spoken, and spent most of his time with his sketchbook. From childhood, Aarav dreamed of becoming a great painter, someone whose art could speak what words couldn't. His father, a small tailor, didn't understand his passion. "Paintings won't fill your stomach, Aarav," he used to say. But Aarav never argued. He just smiled and kept painting. One day, a famous art competition was announced in the city, the National Young Artist Award. The winner would get a scholarship and a chance to study under one of India's greatest painters. Aarav saw this as his moment. He borrowed money from his father's savings to buy good brushes, paints, and canvas. Every day, he locked himself in a small shed near the field and painted from dawn till dusk. Days turned into nights, nights into weeks. His fingers were stained with color, his clothes torn, and his heart full of hope. Finally, the day came. He packed his painting, a portrait of his mother who had passed away years ago, her eyes filled with warmth and light. He reached the city competition hall, hundreds of talented artists around him, their paintings bold and grand. Aarav felt nervous, but when he looked at his painting, he smiled. It wasn't just art, it was his soul on canvas. When the results were announced, Aarav stood at the edge of the crowd, holding his breath. And then, they called out the winner's name, not his. He didn't even make it to the top 20. Aarav's hands trembled. He looked at his painting, the same one he had poured his heart into, now lying unnoticed in a corner. As he walked out, a group of young artists laughed. "Look at that village boy. Who paints something so simple for a national show?" That night, Aarav didn't go home. He sat near the bus stop, his painting beside him, rain pouring down, colors slowly washing away. He felt broken, a failure. He whispered, "Maybe Papa was right. Maybe dreams are not for people like me." The next morning, Aarav returned home quietly and packed away all his brushes and colors. Days turned into weeks. He started working at a small printing shop, designing visiting cards and posters on a computer, far away from his passion. But every evening, when he passed by the art store, he felt something ache inside him. The colors still called out. One evening, a little girl came into the shop where Aarav worked. She had tears in her eyes. "Bhaiya, can you draw my dog?" she asked softly, holding an old photograph. Aarav hesitated, but she looked so innocent, he couldn't say no. He took a pencil and started sketching, for the first time in months. Within minutes, the lifeless photo turned into a warm, beautiful portrait. The girl's eyes sparkled. "It looks alive." "Thank you, Bhaiya." Her smile did something to him. It reignited the light he thought was gone forever. Over the next few weeks, more children came, asking Aarav to draw their pets, parents, or favorite cartoon characters. Without realizing it, he started painting again. One day, a school teacher saw his sketches and said, "You should come to our school. Teach these kids how to draw like that." Aarav laughed, I'm not good enough to teach anyone, but she insisted. So, he started giving weekend art classes to children. He didn't charge much, just enough to buy some paints and brushes. But those little faces, curious, happy, innocent, reminded him of why he fell in love with art in the first place. Years passed. His small class grew bigger. Soon, people started calling his place Aarav's Art Nest. One morning, a letter arrived. The same art competition he once failed in had invited him again. This time as a guest mentor for young participants. Aarav couldn't believe it. He looked at his old broken brush, the one he hadn't thrown away. He smiled and whispered, "You were my biggest failure and my greatest teacher." When he stood on that stage years later, looking at the crowd of young dreamers, he said, "The world may not see your worth today. But don't stop, because failure isn't the end of your story. It's the start of your real one." And as the crowd applauded, Aarav saw something in the front row. A little girl smiling proudly. The same girl whose dog he had drawn years ago. A tear rolled down his cheek. He finally understood. The reason he failed was not to end his journey, but to start a better one. Moral: sometimes life breaks your brush so that you can paint again, but this time with purpose. Your biggest failure could truly be your greatest teacher.